Hello everyone and welcome to Odoo Live. This is Ken, the marketing officer here at Odoo Hong Kong, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Joining me today, we have Harriet, the business advisor here also at Odoo Hong Kong, and we will discuss how to use Odoo Purchase application to manage your purchase. And then throughout the presentation, we will be answering your question in the YouTube chat box. So if you have any question, please feel free to leave it at the right column, and then Harriet will get to them at the end of our section during the Q&A. And if you would like to review this webinar again, you can feel free to rewatch this webinar once the live event has finished. And thank you all again for your joining. Let's get started with our webinar. And Harriet, all yours.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us today. I will start with company overview first, and then we will dive into the demo. All right, so for me, I am the business advisor responsible for the APAC region. Currently, I am stationed in the Hong Kong office. So what I do is to presenting a live demo for my clients and discussing the best practice for the clients in order to have the goal, like the operational efficiency. So what is Odoo? Odoo is a all-in-one integrated management software, which is have a nice interface and really easy to use for everyone. Okay, so far we have 46 general apps covering all of the modules like website, sales, operations, MRP, finance and accounting, human resources, marketing, and some extra integration as well. But for today's demo, we will focusing on the purchasing and the inventory. So far we have 7 offices, and our headquarters is based in Belgium, which is responsible for the services, sales, marketing, and R&D, etc. And for Hong Kong office, which is covering all of the services and sales for the APAC region. So far Odoo supporting 32 languages. So if you have a client or some of your staff is located in other regions, we do have their languages for them to use. And we have 3 million users so far and around 1,000 new installations per day. So you can see that our user growth really fast since 2005. All right, so for the client which is using Odoo, you can see that Odoo actually catered for this. Focusing for the SME company, but for MNC, we do have the scope and modules for their needs as well. All right, so for today's demo, which is focusing on the purchasing side, which hopefully can make your procurement more easily to handle. So for the challenge in today's world, in the procurement market, some client would just have some problem when they set up the product. So in the demo, I will show you how to easily set up the product on the fly. And the other thing is that the RFQ and the supplier relationship management will be quite hard to handle. So I will demo in a second. And the third thing would be the inventory reordering rule. So as a procurement team, you don't really want to run out of stock. So in Odoo system, we do have something called reordering rule, which can manage your procurement easily. Okay, so let's dive into the demo. So here you go. This is the demo database I have created. For today's demo, we're focusing on the purchase and the inventory side. So for later on, I will demonstrate it 3 routes for the procurement. So one would be how to create the RFQ on the fly. The other would be how to configure the product as a make-to-order goods, so that once you have received the sales order for your client, your customer, and RFQ will be automatically triggered, and you can send to your vendors to do your procurement. And third things, the routing would be the dropshipping as well. All right, so just dive into the purchase modules. Here you go. So once you have logging in your database and go to purchase modules, as you can see, the first interface would be a list view, or you can do it in the Kanban view to list out all of your RFQ on hand and showing the relevant order date, schedule date, as well as the status of this RFQ as well. So before I demonstrate the whole flow to do the RFQ and PO, I would like to show you how to set up the product in Odoo database. So you can see that once you have clicked into the product list, I have created 3 different products for today's demo. One would be the iMac, iPad mini, iPhone. In every module, you can view the data in Kanban view or a list view as well. So in list view, more information will be shown. For example, the sale price, the cost, the product category, as well as the product, the quantity on hand, as well as the forecast quantity as well. So just go into the Kanban view, and for customer or for client yourself, you can easily using our filter and see how many available product on hand. And if you would like to see how many product has an exhausted stock level, you can just simply using the filter and to see which product is currently out of stock, and obviously you will need to purchase additional inventory to your warehouse as well. So except this, you can still using the group by functions by adding like custom group, let's say which product can be purchased, or which is by sorting out the name, etc. So this is a powerful tool for you to sort out which data you would like to see. So as you can see that some clients might have different product type, for example, service product as well as the physical product as well. So by using the filter, you can easily sort out how many service type product you have and how many product you have in your database as well. All right, so for example, let's go to iPhone. Okay, so as you can see, once you have clicked into the product, you can view different informations relevant to this iPhone product. For example, like how many variants, like color, size for this particular product, how many stock on hand currently, how many forecasted inventory on hand, which means that it actually refers to taking into account the purchase unit as well as the sales unit. So it would be a powerful element for customer service or the sales team to take account for this number. And you can also view how would be the product move. I mean, from one location to other locations, etc. And you can also view the reorder, set up the reordering route for this product. And you can also, if you have the sales modules or purchasing modules installed, you will still have these 2 tabs telling you how many purchase order you have for this product and how many sales order for this product as well. So once you have clicked into here, you will see that this product is configured as a sold product as well as a purchased product. And you can easily change your product type as a stackable product, which means that it's stock level relevant, or you can change it to consumable product, which means that its inventory level doesn't matter. You don't really need to care about the inventory. And the third product type will be the service product type, and you can easily configure which product type is it, and you can also set up the sales price as well as the units of measure. So some client might have some case of they doing the sales as well as the purchase units of measure different. So for example, if the unit of measure you need to sell for the iPhone is counted as a unit, but when you purchase the iPhone from your vendors, you can do other set up other units of measure as well. For example, dozens, cm or liters, etc. And also this can be configurable at the backend as well. All right, so for variants, I do set up 2 variants here for the color, like gray and white. And yeah, for your product, of course, you can set up other attributes and attribute value as well. Okay, so one must notice that in the purchasing tab, you would need to set up your vendor to do your procurement. So here you go, I have set up the Apple Supply as one of the vendor to purchase the iPhone from this vendor. So just click it into, you can see that Apple Supply would be the vendor, and you can also set up the prices as well. So like how many minimum quantity requested for in order to purchase this additional iPhone, or you need to set up the price to purchase this iPhone as well. So definitely you will need to input the delivery lead time as well. So just keep it simple. We don't really have the mean quantity for this vendor, and the price will be 800. So inside the inventory tab, you will see that under these operations, you will have different routing to do the procurement. So here you go. For this example, I would say the iPhone is definitely a byproduct, which means that you need to stock in from your vendors to buy additional iPhone from your vendors, and this would be a dropshipping type. Or the other product I have configured is a make to order type. I would demo the routes later, which means that once you have the sales order, an RFQ and PO will be triggered accordingly. So of course, you can also configure the invoicing as well as the customer test account here for the counting purposes. All right, so let's save it. Okay, so take into account for the iMac, in which this is a buy route, which means that you will need to manually create a RFQ to your vendor to purchase additional one. As you can see that currently on hand inventory for iMac is 0, so definitely for a procurement team I will need to stock in more inventory from my vendors. So you can just go to purchase, request for quotations, and create a new one. So here you go. For the iMac, the vendor will be Apple Supply, and the product definitely iMac. And I would like to say the scheduled date to do the procurement will be 24th, and I would like to stock in 1 unit of the iMac. So inside the delivery and invoices tab, you can still change the schedule date here, as well as change the Incoterm like free carrier, free on board, etc. But just keep it simple. Let's save this request for quotations. And at this current stage, this is a draft RFQ you have drafted out, and then you can send out this RFQ to your Apple Supply, the vendor, I mean. So just send it out. Okay, so once you have sent the RFQ, you can see that from the black prompt here, the RFQ stage will be shifted to RFQ sent. And under this cheddar, you will see the activities you have done on this particular RFQ, as well as the email you have just sent to your Apple Supply. So just have a look of the PDF file. So this will be the default layout of the RFQ, but of course, if you need further information or column added into the form or RFQ, definitely can do so via a Odoo Studio. So for Fandom Management, actually you can still communicate it well with Apple Supply by sending him another email, like, or the quick message. And it will appear in the chatter for you to trace back what is happening for this particular RFQ. Or of course, if you don't really have a quick message to send, you can still send out a nice email by opening it up and using the existing template, or you can set up your own template to use and to send out a nice email with some formatting and send out to your vendor. Of course, if you have several staff or procurement members to handle this case and you would need to assign to someone to follow this case, you can just simply add someone in your internal team and ask him to follow up. And here in this case, Harriet would receive your email and she can just go into the system and follow up this case. So as a procurement team member, maybe he would like to set up some activities for himself to follow up this PO or RFQ as well. So for example, I would need to schedule a call vendor and confirm the price, etc. So the scheduled date will be tomorrow. So once you have scheduled, you will see this in the chatter as well. And once you have dived into your database, you will see that you will have one future activities for these PO modules to deal with in this notification center. Alright, so just make it simple. Everything looks good and the quantity and price looks good as well. And here, after you have communicating with Apple Supply, as a procurement team member, Harriet, I can just confirm the order straight ahead. So once you have confirmed the RFQ, you can see that it will become a real PO, a real purchase order. And here you can see that another intelligence button will be shown up, showing that there will be one shipment, one incoming shipment will be delivered to your warehouse or your location or office, etc. You can simply click receive product in this obvious next step button, or you can still click it into this intelligent button, which link you back to our inventory modules. And as a warehouse guy or procurement guy, here you can see that one iMac would be delivered to your company, and you can simply validate the shipment. And the whole flow will be done for the byproduct. Alright, so let's get back to second flow. For iPad, as you can see, iPad mini is set as a make to order route and a buy route as well. So which means that if you receive a sales order for your customer, a RFQ will be triggered to buy in additional inventory for this iPad mini. Let's go back to the database and go to sales. For example, customer Amanda would like to have 2 iPad mini from you. Maybe let's make it 10. And you can simply make it as a make to order route here. Once you have saved it, you can just send just like the flow with the Fandom Management, you can send an email to Amanda to confirm the sales order, but we won't cover here. Just make it simple and confirm the sales straight away. Okay, so here's a SO003 has been created for this particular iPad mini. And you can see that the one delivery will be triggered, which means that you have one outgoing order to deliver the iPad mini to Amanda. Alright, so let's go back to purchase. As you can see that from in these purchase modules inside the RFQ, you can see that a PO or RFQ has been triggered by your sales order SO003. So you can see that in iPad mini, 11 unit will be triggered. That one additional unit has been triggered by the previous RFQ, by the previous sales order. That's why it would just say addition unit that's combined into a one PO. So once you have confirmed the order, the PO will be triggered, and in this sense, you can receive the product straight away. Or you can just go to inventory modules, and you can see that there's some 2 receipts from your vendor Apple Supply. So you can, you can just simply validate this particular recipient for iPad mini as well as iPad. Validate it, and you can see that the whole flow will be done. Alright, so here you go. To complete the make to order route, definitely you would need to send out the iPad mini to Amanda as well for the 10 unit. So just validate it to make it simple and to deliver it to Amanda. Okay, so the third thing I would like to show, that would be the drop shipping. So for the iPhone, I have set it up like a drop shipping route, which means that once you have received the sales order, your vendor would need to deliver the iPhone straight away to your customer. So the inventory, the iPhone won't go into your warehouse, but straight away to your end client. Okay, so just go to sales again. Amanda again. And Amanda would like to order one iPhone gray color, 5 unit for that. The route will be a drop shipping route. Once you save it, you can confirm the sale straight ago. And then in the purchase, you can see that a RFQ has been triggered as well, and you can see that you can send the RFQ just like before to send it out to Apple Supply to purchase additional iPhone and send it to Amanda. Alright, so one shipment has been created, and you can see that this shipment is related to dropships. So you can see that in this order name that would be beginning with DS. Or I can show you in the inventory modules, you can see that inside this dropship dashboard, that would be one to receive for Amanda. And once they have once Amanda has received the product from Apple Supply, you can just validate it and to complete the whole flow. Alright, so for the 3 route has been demonstrated, and at a very later stage for a procurement team, you definitely would need to create a vendor bill for your vendor or for your accounting purposes. So here you go. In the purchase order, you can see a list of PO you have been created with its billing status. For example, waiting bills, nothing the bills, etc. So just taking out the latest one, PO007, and here you can create the vendor bill straight away on the purchase order. So once you have clicked to create a vendor bills, you can simply see that the vendor will be automatically filled in as an Apple supply, as well as the billing item iPhone in gray color has been automatically filled in as well. But of course, as an accounting member or finance member, you will need to type in and select the bill date as well as the due date as well. So for example, bill date would be tomorrow, due date would be tomorrow, etc. And if you have a vendor reference like the vendor code for Apple Supply, feel free to type it in. Let's say Apple Supply 001, etc. And if you have additional purchase order need to add into this billing, you can just add it into. And billing product will be automatically filled in as well. So definitely you can add as many purchase order as you want for Apple Supply. So at this sense, everything look good, and you can simply save the vendor bills and validate it. All right. So you can see that the draft vendor bills has been in a position of open. And in this stage, as a finance staff, you can register the payment and to make it into the relevant payment journal. So for example, this would be a bank account, and the memo would be AS001, because this would be the account for Apple Supply, and payment day tomorrow, and validate everything. Okay, so here you go. The bills has been created, and as a procurement team member again, you will need to, or procurement manager, you will need to have a reporting on your purchase order. So inside the purchase modules, you can just go to the reporting and to do your purchase analysis. So once you have dived in the reporting tab, you have a view of graph view or a pivot table view. So inside the graph view, you can incorporate different dimensions you would like to see. For example, the product quantity, number of lines, etc. Or in the pivot table, you can set up the dimension you would like to see as well, like the product, the vendor name, currency, and product category, etc. So you can have a nice report based on your company need. Of course, if you want to download the report in a Excel file, that will be possible, and you can simply download the report and it will present it in an Excel file. And then you can just do it as your file management or print it out as for bookkeeping purpose. All right, so the whole flow would be like this for the purchasing modules. So I think we all good right now.
Okay, great. And now it's time for Q&A. If you have any question, you can leave it in the live chat box, because right now we don't have any. Maybe your presentation is really comprehensive. People get to know more about it. We can wait for 2 minutes. If you have any, just leave it there, and Harriet will get to them. Okay, maybe I can raise a question. It's about the pricing.
Yeah, sure.
Can we know more about the pricing of the purchase application and how it charged and how it cost for using?
You mean the
Purchase.
subscription price? All right. That would be the best for me to show you the pricing page of Odoo. Just give me a second. So for Odoo Enterprise version, actually the pricing structure will be based 2 layers. One would be number of users in your company that would actually edit and go to use the system, and the other layer would be number of apps you use. So just make it simple, there will be only one user in the procurement team to use the purchase and inventory modules, and the modules you will need, for example, purchase as well as inventory, that will be come together, and this will be incurred a monthly subscription price of $55, or definitely some discount on the annual plan, that would be $528. And for Odoo subscription prices, actually the subscription price has been include the following services. For example, the unlimited cloud hosting, day-to-day backup at least twice a day, at least in 3 data centers as well. And the subscription price would be also include the email integrations, security, 24/7 monitoring, as well as the basic support from our support team via email and live chat. So is it all good right now?
Yeah, and we have another question.
Sure.
It's about multiple location. Can we have multiple reordering route on the same product in different location or warehouse? Maybe one in Hong Kong and the other one in China, let's say. Is it possible to do so?
So for reordering route, actually by default there will be one reordering route for each product. And but of course, if you'd like to have additional reordering route, we would like to consult with the functional consultant as well as the technical team to see whether it is possible and whether it would need some time to develop to fulfill your requirements.
Okay.
And the other thing will be related to different locations and multiple warehouse. Actually, you can set it up at the backend in the inventory modules. Sorry, that would be need to enable at the backend as well. So multiple warehouse and storage locations. So indeed, Odoo Inventory does support different storage locations as well. So including like inside one warehouse, there would be several locations, different shelf or cupboard that need to store your inventory. That will be possible to track your exact inventory location by enable this storage location as well. So everything would be a default setting at the backend. What you need is just to enable it at the backend and to configure and set up different locations and warehouse.
Cool. And then we have another question. It's more or less about a practical practice. It's about after confirming an purchase order, do I have to manually accept incoming products in the system, or it can be automatically done in the system?
By default, you will need to manually accept it.
Okay. Cool. Okay, and I think that's it for today's question. And thank you, Harriet, for this presentation. And as always, if you have any further question, you can send it to my email, kcn@odoo.com, and also Harriet emails, haw@odoo.com. And also I've include Harriet's equity link, which you can schedule a demo with her in a face-to-face interaction in the description box. So if you need a specific demo, you can click on the link and then schedule a demo with her. And don't forget to click like if you find this video helpful and also subscribe to our video, as there will be more webinar and other video coming in the future and in the coming days. And if you got here late, you can revisit this webinar by clicking in the same link on this browser anytime you want once the live event has finished. And we will see you next week and with a topic on Odoo accounting. So don't forget to get your ticket on our website, and see you next Wednesday. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you.